All right. Good evening, everybody. I am once again Dagenham Lol. I'm on Clutter of on Twitch at least. I'm usually Dagenham. This is the Clutter of Cats channel on Twitch. I share it with Stigna, my wife. And today, I'm hoping to work a little bit with JSON. I did some research. I didn't do as much as I thought I would. Kind of ran out of time today between work and being this close to passing out all day. Long weekend. Anyway. So, didn't get to do the research I wanted to do. I had a little bit of it done from before. Not as much as I thought I would have. Let me pull up the main page here. So JSON is a format you can use to store data or to pass data between web pages. That's used for either. It's still have it. Here's an example. It uses these curly braces to denote sections, and you can nest curly braces. So, for example, this is all one item. This is all in relation to the address. Oops, address. Probably need that colon there too. I'm not 100% familiar with it. As much web technology as I use, and as common as this is in web technology, we don't personally use it at work, so that's kind of why I wanted to play around with it. So, being the nerd that I am, I typed in json.com. That didn't work. I came to json.org. Here is the Java libraries that are available in the event that you would like to use it. Oh, hello, Elite Unit. I'm sorry I didn't have my right web page up. Good to see you. These are, I guess it's safe to say these are the official JSON libraries. And sorry, brain fart. I believe these are the official JSON libraries. These are the ones that you can use for Java. They didn't come compiled. They came in .java format. So I'm going to be playing around with those and getting them to work. Hopefully getting some examples of that. So, quick question from Elite Unit, unrelated question, but how do you make a slider with jQuery on a website? That's a slider jQuery, like to have a bunch of images and you can scroll through them. Scroll slider. This? Oh, BinRay's hosting me. Geez, that's nice of you again, BinRay. I really appreciate that. I mean, if this is what you mean, this might have some libraries for it or something like this. It's smoothdivscroll.com. I don't know if that's what you mean. There's probably ways specifically to do this in jQuery. There's jQuery plugins. Here's a vertical slider, horizontal scroller. So there'll be like little libraries like this that you can use. So really, it depends on have the images scroll across every now and again. Yeah, like that was the first one. This smooth div scroll. I don't know if this is free. I've never looked into this before. Here it's describing what it's doing. It has hotspots, and the image is technically the background, so it's just kind of going through it. Hey, Extrea is now following. Thank you, Extrea. I appreciate that. So yeah, I mean you can find it. I mean jQuery has a lot of like libraries and a lot of things listed. If you type in jQuery and then whatever it is you're looking for in particular, you'll find stuff to do it. All right. Okay, so README. Oops. This is the README, but it is a very sparse README. So anyway. squares. Oh, neat. All right, you can actually do square brackets. Okay. So. Oh, hello, active. Man. It's going to be a busy day today, it seems like. All right. So JSON is a pretty efficient way of storing information because it allows you to store more than one piece of information at once. And let me actually notepad. I'll show you the way I'm currently storing viewers, for example. My viewer file. This is really simple, obviously, but it's not really sustainable because if I wanted to store additional pieces of information, I mean, I could do something like that so I can flag whether or not it's watching, but this is all kind of I am just a mess today. All kind of unsafe, and you want to get it to the point where the program itself handles the information on its own, even if it means that the person who's using it can't touch it themselves. Like, for example, this is just data. This is just data that the program's going to be storing and accessing. But here's settings. Oh, don't save changes. Oh, so that's my password. So as it is right now, I can modify this by hand, and I can change the settings and everything. Oh man, I'm sorry. I just missed who followed. I'm like a minute away from falling asleep. I'm very sorry. Thank you for following. So if I change this to JSON, it's going to make it harder for people to actually modify by hand, but at the same time, I'll be Habs1. Thank you. Thank you, Active, for letting me know that. Thank you for following Habs1. I really do appreciate it. Changing this over to JSON will mean that the person or the user can't go into the file themselves and modify it, but at the same time, it reset. At the same time, it means that the program can read it a little easier because it won't be in this flat format and everything. And let me go get my other laptop real quick. I want to reset my bot pass. I'll do that while I keep talking. So that's the basic idea. That's why I want to do it. At some point, I'll probably try and move everything to SQLite, which is a SQL version that supposedly doesn't need to be installed, which will mean that I can take the users out of JSON and just put them into a database. I'm not that far yet, obviously. Excuse me. Second. Take this, put this over here. Oop. All right. Habs1, I am making a Twitch bot, but I'm doing it step by step, and I'm walking everybody that cares to watch, if you want to, walking everybody through the entire process. The idea being, I want to give everyone the option to learn this if they want to. A lot of people say that they could program if they just spent the time doing it, and I'm showing what it takes, and I'm trying to give the mentality that goes behind it and my reasons for doing what I'm doing, and showing each individual step as I go. So it means I'm going really slow, but hopefully it also means that I'm as in-depth as possible. I am sorry for making this take a little longer. I realize you guys probably aren't going to steal my bot password, but I need to get rid of it too because I'm putting this on YouTube, which if you ever want to watch any of these, you miss one, we do have a YouTube channel. It's available in our profile. We've got a Twitter where I try and keep that updated at least a few minutes before I go live. Twitch apps, TMI. That makes me a better person. I don't know. I do what I can. I like helping people, and I want to give as much information as I can to try and help them do what I do, because I love programming, and I want to share that love with other people, and I want to show people it's not as hard as you might think. It's not necessarily something that you can pick up and do in an afternoon, but it is something that if you really want to do it, you can. And I want to at least help people get their foot in the door. Tim's only saying, or Tim, Active's only saying that because I've donated a bunch of games to him. But no, yeah. So if you have any questions, if I'm going too fast, or if there's a specific topic you want me to look into, I can do that. The one caveat is I'm not going to do all of your homework for you. If you have a question, there we go. It's reset. If you have a question about your homework, like you're getting a specific bug, or some logic isn't quite working the way you think it should, and I'll worry about that later. Then you can email me the question on either Twitch, or I think you can get access to the Cluttercats email through the YouTube. You can add comments there. However you want to contact me is fine. You can tweet at me. I'll try and answer no matter what. All right, so I'm going to have to reset that password again before I stream next time, but shouldn't be working on any bot today. I do what I can. I like helping people, I do. And in fact, what actually brought this part of the stream to life was the fact that Active plus a couple people in the stream were talking about being curious about programming. And so I went, well, I program every day. I've got my degree in it. I've been doing it for 17 years, something like that. Why not give them a helping hand there and show them a little bit at least? Okay, so, and Habs1 asks, so if you tried, could you make a game through chat viewers, type commands to play a game you make? Yeah, absolutely. It's not necessarily an easy thing to do because you're limited in terms of what kind of inputs and outputs you can give. Twitch is very specific with what kind of text and how much of text you can send through a chat bot. But you could. You absolutely could. It's just, like I said, it's hard. You could probably do one of those, like, text make your own adventure type games where you could have the stream type things. But as an example, people did Twitch Plays Pokemon, where people were able to type up, down, left, right, and it sent that command to the game. I've got a noisy cat. Hang on, let me pull her over and show her on stream. If I can catch her. Say hi. I'm gonna run. They aren't big fans of being picked up. Okay. Those Pokemon games were horrible. Pokemon Red and Blue, I don't know. They're old. They're old style. And yeah. Watching people play the game was amazing. They actually had to invent a new mode called Democracy, where it would take votes, basically. Everyone was voting on what it would do next, and that allowed them to complete the game. But it was chaos for a lot of it. It was amazing. It was fun to watch, though. It was a neat, really, really cool social experiment, I will say. But one of the things I have thought, and don't tell Active, is that you could have the bot scan chat for commands and then play noises or something during the stream if you wanted. Kind of like, the name of that game, was it Daylight? It was Daylight? Like, Daylight had Twitch connections where you could type in meow and it would make a cat noise, or footsteps and it would make footstep noise. You could actually build that into the bot and allow people to do that all the time, not just when the game connects. And I actually have something in here that could potentially do that. It reads in all of chat, and it only looks for specific messages. Sounds cost belief bucks. That would be really funny. Like, you can play noises, but it costs money. It costs points or coins or gold or whatever you want to call them. That would be really funny. Habs1 says, I can make the games, but I can't do the art. Yeah, that's kind of my problem too. I have the ability to program a lot of things, just through practice and through general knowledge, or at the very least I know the theory behind it. But I am an awful artist. Everything would be rectangles and circles if I'm left to my own devices. Which is kind of funny in its own right, I guess. Oh, man. Apparently, Active says Athene has a system like that. People can spend his points on saying something out loud. Yeah, I always worry about letting people... And Active and I talked about this actually for a while, integrating text-to-speech. My worry there is that when people can put anything in, you end up getting anything said on your stream. And that's, to me, that's a little worrying. My brother started, Slithic says, my brother started his little image hoster project 6 months ago, and it doesn't seem to have an end. Yeah, I mean, if you're in the right place at the right time with those things, and they take right off. I mean, that can be dangerous too, though, because you never know what people are uploading. All right, let's make a quick class. We're just going to JSON test. Thing is, I'm not. I feel so dumb today. I have all these. On Java math. Like, why couldn't they have just given me a jar file? I don't feel like dealing with this. These are all uncompiled. And if I check this, I don't think there was a compiled version, which I really would have liked to have had, so I don't have to deal with it. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, AppleScript can do text-to-speech. There's a couple of libraries I found in Java that can do it. The question is just whether or not you want to enable it. It's a dangerous thing. Like, you don't know what sort of filth people are going to spew when they have an active audience. So in all honesty, like, it's one of those things where if I build the bot and release it, and someone goes, "Hey, I really, really, really want text-to-speech in here," I'll add it, but it would be one of those things that's disabled by default. Like, it won't be. It's something you have to add, and even then, I would probably, yeah, you can allow a filter as an option, and you can also put a timer on it. So it'll say so-and-so has requested this be said on stream, 5 seconds, or it'll display, and you can hit cancel if it's really bad. Because there's some things you just don't need to have on your stream. I mean, fair's fair. Our files. All right. How do I? It's been so long. I haven't had to make a jar file in a long time. Is that what this has been doing? Bot me class. These are all classes. Change directory. See Twitch bot. Oh, I just Twitch bot. Do I even have Java Oh, arg. This might be a failed experiment for today, which is fine. I'm I'm so happy. I think I need to compile these because they're in Java format, but I'm not like, I don't know. Man, JSON test. I don't want to have to dump all of these files in. I would like to, like, if you look, the perk bot that I'm using, PIRC bot. Here it is. They provided a jar file. The jar file is a compiled version of all of the code. Now, that's good. It has its ups and downs. It's good because I don't have to touch it. All I have to do is include it. Like this. It's there. It's included. Now I look at this again, I don't entirely know how. I mean, Jibble isn't exactly the file name. I don't fully understand how that works, but anyway, it works. It's there. That must just be the name of it. Yeah, like all you get are the documents. You don't even get source code. Oh. I don't know. Maybe you get the source code, but you don't need it. The okay, Habs1, have a good night. I hope to see you again. I usually stream, in case if you can stick around for a second. I stream usually from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Mondays and Wednesdays, through about 3 on Saturdays until I'm done. So I feel like I'm done. And yeah. So if you want to come back, we'd be glad to have you. So, I mean, I kind of like that I don't get the source code because I'm not going to be changing it. I mean, but at the same time, it's nice to get the source code so you can actually change it if you need to. But, I mean, let's be honest, this is probably done better than I could do it. I mean, this is what these guys do. They do JSON. I don't do JSON. I barely know JSON. So, oops. I have it. I've read the README, which we can skim through again. README. JSON is a lightweight, language-independent data interchange format. The files in this package implement JSON encoders, decoders in Java. It also includes the capability to convert between JSON, XML, and HTTP. This is a reference implementation. There is a large number of JSON packages in Java. Perhaps someday the Java community will standardize on one. Until then, choose carefully. Package compiles Java 1. So I do need to compile it. Here's the basic stuff: JSON object.java, JSON array.java, JSON tokener.java, JSON exception.java. So there might even be one that's included in Java, which is what I was looking at here. Which is kind of why this has been throwing me through loops. Because then tutorials point, which I've been using for a lot of this, says that you need to install any of the JSON modules available. Here's their version of JSON. I kind of hate to do it, but if this is easier to use, I might just use it. All right, there we go. Save it. Off real quick so I can make folder, and then I'm going to copy that out. Paste it in my main folder. Make sure it went here. I keep thinking it's like JSON Okay, here we go. JSON simple 111 jar. How old is this? Oh, okay. Oh, this is on Google. About me. Source. I'm seeing it. So I don't feel like looking for it. Okay, so JSON simple 111 is the jar file. That's what this uses. So static JSON. Okay, so this is what I would need to use, supposedly. All right, so I'm just going to do that and then compile it and see if that worked. Why did that not work? All right, or just some example. Developer's guide. Full version. Getting started. Coding. Port. Yeah. Something that like. There might have been a library. Ah, okay. I need to add the jar library. There it is. Knew it was something. All right. Oh, screw you. Virtual machine, compile it. There we go. Okay. Now I can find it. That's what I wanted, obviously. File test, I'm going to need this. Let's get out of this. All right. So let's read in. So this reads it in by line. What if I can just do the whole thing? If I do this, I want to. I guess part of the problem here is that I don't really know where to start on this. Kind of why I've been stalling a little bit. My best bet might be to. Oh man, I don't even know. Maybe blank out my users file and then just write the process that exports it. Let's look at the viewers file. Let's look at the viewers file. I close it. I closed it. And do a quick version with all these freaking windows up of what this would look like. In fact, yeah, let's close some of these. Getting a little cluttered. So this is the code that I use right now. Let's convert it first. Before we go any further, let's try and get this to look like what it would look like in JSON so we know what we're looking at. In this case, this would be let's just do name. So this can be simple. Name would be Dagenham wall, comma. We can do points. 10.6. Oops. Let's put that in quotes. I don't know if this needs to be in quotes. This might be... Since it's a number, it might be fine without quotes. But we got a question from Edelnecht. Why don't they use JSON and file systems to store file attributes, then get rid of the hex editor and instead conveniently use notepad.exe to change the attributes? Would be nice. Would be nice. It's that's always been one of the problems, is that every file has its own header that describes it in its own way. And it's all standardized with however each company wants to do it. It would be nice if they'd pick something, even if they'd just pick one idea like JSON or XML and everything is done like that. It'd be great, but you know, what are you gonna do? I'm still amazed that we have USB. I mean, really, that's USB and Bluetooth, which both could have very easily been made company specific. That got lucky enough to be bought out as the standard. So points, and then I know I'm going to need to store some other things. So let's do tickets. Tickets. I think it's not going to be tickets. I think it's going to be effectively points wrapped up in tickets. It could be a whole number, an integer. And in the case of crashes, we need watching. Let's set that to, let's just default that to false. All right. So that is at least my concept for how to convert this, this into JSON. It has all the attributes I need, and this allows me to expand a lot easier instead of just doing like something like this. So it's easier to read. It describes everything I need to describe. It's just I'm just not feeling it today. What can I say? Oh, yeah. Active says, you know how when you focus yourself, you put your hands on your forehead? If I did the same thing every time I focus myself, I would literally be doing that every 2 seconds of my life. And that's fine, man. I do all sorts of things to focus when this is what I do when I don't have music playing. When I do have music playing, I'll probably just, instead of hands on head or hands on forehead, I'll probably just sit there and stare at the screen like a zombie for a couple seconds and try and, and let the gears turn in my head. Oh, so Edelnecht says it makes a difference whether you put the numbers in quotes or not. Without the quotes, the parser creates a number. With them, it creates a string that you then need to turn into a number yourself. I sort of figured that's what it was, but I haven't really. Oh yeah, in fact, I'm not even reading my own example here. Here we go in the postal code that shows that it's like that. But if you want to keep them with formatting, you do that. Do I have ADD? I don't believe I do. I mean, everybody has a little bit of it. But from what I know, like everybody has a little bit of OCD, everybody has a little of ADD. It's just, does it reach that level where it becomes a problem? I probably do have some. Definitely not as much as a lot of people. I had a friend in, well, actually, he's still my friend. I had a friend who I met in 5th grade. God, that was, I don't even want to think about how long ago that was. He still has serious ADD. And he was on Ritalin for a very long time, and it helped him out. Like, he needed it. He could barely, I feel bad for him. I'm not like trying to badmouth him. He could barely function without it. And we got some great stories out of it, but, and he laughs about it too. So he's got a good sense of humor, because it's not his fault. It's not like he woke up one day and said, I'm living too normal a life. Yeah, it's tough, and it's tough to deal with, and it's something that, not everybody gets diagnosed with when they do have it. Not everybody that gets diagnosed with it actually has it, which causes other problems. So to answer your question, I don't know. I don't think I do, and I don't think I have it very seriously, but in my experience, sometimes you need to have it a bit to be a programmer, because you need to bounce between a lot of things very quickly, but at the same time, you need to remember a little bit of each of them, which is something that ADD can be a problem with. And I think at the moment, at least, I'm just really tired, so I'm having trouble focusing because of that. I had our lovely little kitties. I have one of them. I can use it as an example. An arm's reach. Decide to sleep on my feet when I'm trying to sleep. That doesn't help me sleep at all. Nor does it help sickness sleep, because they go on the area where my feet go. That's their spot at night, and then I roll over to get out of their way, because I'm not moving 30 pounds of cat. That's just not going to happen. Not when I'm not awake. And then I roll into her, who then can't sleep either. We need like a king-size bed, or just 2 queens or something like that, just so the 2 of us can have enough space with our cats. So ADD is awful. I used to take medicine for it, but no more health insurance. Yeah, I know. I hope the new health insurance can help at least. I mean, it's brought costs down a good bit for a lot of people, and people with low income, like most streamers. It takes a huge amount of income, and subscribers and donations in order to get a reasonable level of income out of this. It's I shouldn't say reasonable, a more than livable, let's say. Yeah, in order to get enough income to really afford or anything like that. I know, I did the math at one point. One of the streamers I watch occasionally said that they had 3,000 subscribers, which is weird that they can say that on stream. I've always been a little weird about that. But here, let's just do the math, because I think I remember it, but I don't want to misquote it. So if you've got 3,000 subscribers, you get $2.5 per month out of each of them, assuming that they're recurring, which he's big enough that it probably sticks. So you're getting $7,500 a month times 12 months a year, $90,000 a year from 3,000 subscribers. Oof. Yeah, active. I don't know, man. That's rough. It really is. Just as a personal note, my mom did say at one point that she thought I might have been at least mildly autistic when I was younger, and you don't really grow out of that. But she said I don't seem like it anymore, so I probably wasn't, or if I was, it was so mild, and it is so mild still, that I've learned to work around it, I guess. I don't want to say bad about that. Plenty of people are very have huge problems with autism, and it affects them daily. And if that is what I have, again, it's probably one of those things. It's just levels. If I do have that, which good chance I don't, it's probably just a shy kid. That level isn't very high. Yeah, 97th percentile. That's so yeah, and there you go, active. All you need 3,000 subscribers, and you'll be set. It's just so insane to me. Of course, the 2.5 is only the half, because Twitch takes the other half. Not to speak bad about them, what they provide is a great service here, and I fully support that. This is their service. They can do whatever they want with it. Oh my. We got some kitties fighting upstairs. One of them just squawked. So well, I mean, more than CEOs is so Active said apparently some of the top streamers make more than CEOs, counting donations and everything else. That's a hard thing to pin down, because CEOs can make millions, and CEOs, like the CEO of the company I work for, which only has like 30 people, he doesn't make anywhere near that. So I don't doubt that they make a lot of money. would never doubt that. I've seen them. I've seen people get $1,000 donations. But you can't depend on that too. Like theirs is guaranteed income. When you're a streamer, it's your own little business. But yeah, like I don't know, I mentioned him a lot, but Amaz HS, he's kind of my default go-to for big-time streamers because he'll frequently have 20 to 20,000 people in his stream at a time, which makes his chat unusable. I can't imagine how much. It's insane. But at the same time, he does a lot of really good content. I really enjoy his stream. So, credit where credit's due. All right, I think this is just going to be a research stream, in all honesty, because I'm just like got my foot half out the door already. So encoding examples is what we want to look at. I'm going to research this time. I'm going to make some notes in my program, and then next time what we're going to do is actually start using this. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to balls. I just lost it. I'm going to write my thread that every 10 minutes dumps the viewer list to a viewer/user list to a file, and it's going to do it in JSON. And once I've got that running, I'll then use one of those, change that to my actual viewer file, and then I can delete my old viewer file, and then I'll work on redoing the input so that it's reading in the JSON instead. That makes sense. And it allows me to keep that kind of stepped approach where every time we just advance it a little bit. So today's going to be a note-taking day. I'm sorry if that's not very exciting. I'm probably not going to be compiling anything or actually running it. This is all going to be making notes and stuff. I just want to point out, too, that Active says it's hard what they do. And the big-time streamers, I got to give them a lot of credit because they deal with literally thousands of people at a time. Like, and to again use Amaz as an example, Amaz HS, his chat is literally unreadable. The amount of spam that he gets, which is fun to watch, but it means that he can't really communicate with the people that are in his channel without going into sub mode or slow mode, which it sucks. It does, but he's too big. I guess, and he has to love it, I'm sure, because he's always having a good time. But I can't imagine. I can't imagine doing that. I just can't. It's insane. It's really crazy how fast his chat goes when he lets it out of sub mode or slow mode. Okay. All right, so this is going to go in HelperBot. Let's do a quick update here. Strings. I'm going to leave this because I still haven't done bot messages, options for viewer storage. I still need to look up what YAML is. I'm going to put JSON in here. All right, so implement thread to save viewer list every 10 minutes in case of crash. It's going to be the big thing. Don't worry about taking me off topic. Today's a really good day for that because I'm a little out of it. Slithic says I don't know what you want to do with JSON. I'm doing this in steps. So right now I have all of my viewers stored in a flat file that's really bad. It's just name : points. Hi, Beastly Bro. Welcome to the stream. So I did it with a flat file first, because that's the most basic, it's the easiest to read in. There's nothing extra you have to do to it other than parsing the string out, because you read it in line by line. Then I'm going to convert that to JSON, which will allow me to use it more like an actual object. It'll allow me to use the parts of it like actual parts rather than having to parse them in like a string. Then, later, I'm going to see if I can convert that to a database, but baby steps. So first it's flat file, JSON, database. Database is optional, that's going to come later, because this file shouldn't have to be read in a ton. It should be read in basically once per stream. So it can be stored in whatever format. And the big thing is to save the state in case it crashes, because that's, we try and build it so it doesn't crash, and we try to build it to handle all the errors that might come through, but you don't pick up everything. Also, no matter what, the settings for the file are probably going to be kept in JSON, even if this does get converted to a database, because that's putting all the settings in a database is just necessary. Like, there's not that many settings, so it's fine to go back and forth between a JSON file. So all in practice, and it's to learn things too, because I don't know how to use JSON, so I'll teach it. I'll learn it and show my learning as we go. Implement thread. Let's go ahead and add the A in there to save viewer list every 10 minutes in case of a crash. Good. Export information using JSON. Okay. So that's what that is. So I've already been adding notes to myself for a lot of this. Add a scheduled thread to back up points values in case of crash. So that's where that is. And it's going to be like these. Which means I'll need a new timer, so I might as well add that. Move these together. Oops. Used it twice. Bot save timer. New timer. So now I have 3 timers. I've got one that tracks the messages, one that does the... Oh, I don't think I need that user one anymore, do I? Hey, Beastly Bro, thank you for following. I think bot user tracking? I don't think I'm actually using this. Oh no, okay, I am still using it. This is going to be what increments my points every minute. Originally, this was going to also check to see who's in the channel, but as I found out, Twitch is trying to get rid of the viewer list request, which could be a problem, but we're trying to work with what we have, and it's possible that this won't function for large amounts of people. But rather than getting the viewer list, I discovered, find it, on join fires anytime somebody joins a channel, and when you join a channel, it looks like, at least my experience, it fires for everybody that's in the channel. Now maybe that's only for my small channel here. We'll get to the point where we test it on bigger channels, but as it stands, this is how it does it. And Active asked, is this to prevent view bots? I think it's more to prevent abuse, in all honesty, because you could create a bot and then you could give it like 60 channels, let's say, and it just cycles through the channels over and over and over again. It just requests tons of data. And I think that's why they batch processed it. So it only sends information once every 10 seconds. And B, they then went, you know what? You don't need it. Don't need it. I mean, there's still potentially ways to get around it. Like you could, instead of using the on join, if you could find the part of the web page that displays the user list, you could at least get one that's semi-accurate, shows the most of it's mostly accurate, and you could do a HTTP get function on that page or on that function, depending on how it works, and work around. But they probably wouldn't like that. So I really don't want to do that. That's just, as I probably shouldn't have listed it here even, but that's, I'm not going to do that, but it's one of those things that that's the programmer in me that goes, how do I solve this? What if this is blocked? How do I work around it? And that was my first idea, at least. I mean, there's probably other ways to do it. There might even be a built-in Twitch API that does it, which is then they can limit and make sure. But yeah, and long story short, I think it's to prevent abuse. Yes. So anyway, on join then flags the viewer to watching, so that they're watching the channel, so that when the points incrementer comes in behind it, I need that actually. It's capable of incrementing the points only for people who are watching. I need a scheduled thread to back up values. Okay. To me personally, it's good to always be learning something, and I haven't really been learning programming in a long time because I've learned what I needed to learn, and then I only expanded what I needed to. So to come back and do this again, it has been phenomenal. Like, and really, my best recommendation to everybody is to keep using what you got between your ears, because if you keep using it, it stays fresh and it keeps it active. It's like your brain really works in a lot of ways, at least, like any other muscle. The more you use it, the better it gets. So you don't want to rest on your laurels. You always want to be learning something. So object.toString equals JSON string without toString to array, right? I think so, Slithix. I'm not entirely sure. That's, again, this is, let's scan through this real quick here. So okay, so here's how you encode a JSON object. The first thing you do is you make a JSON object, and then you can use the put function with the name of the variable and the value of the variable. You do that a bunch of times, and then this is how it prints out. Code it streaming. What do they mean by that? String writer equals new string writer. String JSON out to string. JSON object ordering. Find if you need string ordering. Somebody knows what streaming is in this case, let me know, because this is a little, it looks basically like the other one, except it's doing write JSON string out, coding an object, and streaming it. I'm not positive as to what they mean by that. Oh, is that nickname? Oh, yeah, nickname is no. I'm not positive as to what they mean by that. Encoding a JSON object using a map. Ah, so here we go. Oh! No? I thought maybe they were doing something weird here, but that's the same. So here we go, where the object is a linked hash map. You can put a bunch of objects in there, and then string JSON text equals JSON value to JSON string, and then you pass it the linked hash map, which is the object. Okay, encoded JSON object using map and streaming. Also, let me, while I'm briefly thinking about this, let me bookmark this. Encoded JSON object using map and streaming. It's got to be this write JSON string. It has to be streaming to this out. I don't understand. Oh, that might be. This might actually be to write it to a file. Like you're streaming it to a file. Streaming in this case means streaming to the stream, a pipe, connecting it to something else. Write JSON string object out. So in this case, it's just writing it to the out function. Yep, I had it right. Edelnecht, you beat me to it probably on stream, but I had it figured out right as you were probably typing that out. Streaming means that the generated JSON text is handed over chunk by chunk to the consumer, a file writer, for example. This way, it doesn't need to generate the full string in a big buffer first. So it's so you can pass it to something else. And I'm just, and here's this write JSON string. In this case, you're passing it the object to write, which let me go back up to this example. This is what I'll be using. If you have a JSON object, which I will, you can call write JSON string and give it the output you want, which will either be, in this case, is a string writer. You can do a file writer of any kind. You know, if you wanted to pass it over, over like the network or the internet or something like that, you could, whatever that output type is, whatever that stream is, that's where you pass it. All right. So anyway, that's all the basic stuff. Encoding a JSON array. I don't know if I really need this. List. I mean, I'm using vectors, so I wonder if this even... I'm probably going to have to loop through my vector and do it one at a time, which is a little unfortunate. There it is, object, map, list, and streaming. It's a little unfortunate, but it's fine. It's probably, I mean, I'm not using any of these built-in functions, but I can loop through the entire thing and the data. That's not that big a deal. Customized outputs. Okay. All right, that's it. It ends halfway. So, okay. The big thing is, it's what's going to happen. Simple one. What I'll probably end up doing next stream is playing around with this section here. Because I'm using... I don't think I can use their built-in like array, or can't use like arrays or anything like that because I'm not using arrays. I'm using a custom class. I'm using it in a vector. So what I'll have to do is loop through all of the elements in the vector and print them out to the stream one at a time using some sort of file output. Okay. How do I want to do that? Because I want my file output to be... I want it to do two things. And I don't want to have to write two versions of it. I want it to be one version. I want to be capable of running it every 10 minutes to back up everything. But I also want to be able to run it on command, because when you shut the bot down, it should dump everything to a file before it closes all the way. So I probably need a new class. Viewer, let's just call it view. File maker, viewer, file save viewer list, output viewer information. I'm not braining right today, so I feel like there's no nuances to my names. I mean, let's do viewer save state, because that's what it's doing. It's creating a section, and this is what's going to have the JSON. And then what I'll do, well, let's clear this out of some of the junk, because it's nice that BlueJ adds all this stuff, but at the same time, I don't need it so much anymore. I've got my own examples that I can use. And I'm not commenting as much as I could, but at the same time, I'm reading it out on stream, so it's kind of 6 of one, half dozen of the other. All right, so what does this need to take? Should probably take a vector. will be a vector of all of the viewers. Does it really even need anything else? How about, yeah, and my answer to that is yes. I'm thinking it should have a flag as to whether or not it saves the current viewer state of all the viewers. So it takes, and let me just quickly say thanks, thanks Active, thanks for stopping by, and thanks for watching. If you have any more questions or anything, or if there's anything in particular you want to see in terms of programming, let me know, and I can go through it or walk through it or whatever you need, and I'll see you later for sure. Okay, so I need the vector, which is going to be all the viewers. Let me just put this in notes because I'm already kind of in the process of losing my train of thought just every second. Take a vector of viewers, and this way I'll have everything set up for next time, so I can get right into it. Take a flag to save viewer state. So my thought here is, when you want to save it every 10 minutes, it saves the viewer state. Because that way when it starts back up, it automatically has, yes, this person was on, yes, this person was on. It's a little, well, yeah, I like that. Anyway. When you close the program, you don't have to save the state because don't need it anymore. It should be irrelevant. The next time it starts up, you should start fresh. So you need to take a vector of viewers, and you need to take a flag to save the viewer state. So I will need to include the JSON library. Let me hey, give me a sample of it. Let me just put that at the top there, just so I don't have to even think about it. Excuse me. And then I can just get rid of that. So create a JSON object, loop through vector, adding elements, output JSON object to file. And that should be the basics of what we need. And the benefit of this here is that I should probably take, oh, hello. All right. I had the big black cat that we have was just trying to eat my wires, so I was going to pick him up, but ran. Anyway. Just trying to eat everything. Excuse me. To get back to what I was trying to say, it should probably take a copy of the vector of viewer. One of the big things that can happen, and I think this happens with vectors more than other things, is vectors can get deadlocked when more than one thing is trying to access it at once. Which is something I've kind of had in the back of my mind the whole time, but I haven't had to deal with that yet because we just don't have enough people to really test that, and that's one of the things that I need a bigger stream to test with, which I haven't looked into yet. I still plan on it, but I'm not to that point yet, and I'd like to get to that point in case something comes up that prevents me from getting to that point. I don't have someone who's like, hey, when are you going to do this? You do it. So haven't done that yet. I suspect it's going to happen, and if it does, there are some other types that I think I can use, like I think array list or linked list, or I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there. There might even be ways to get around it, like another thing I was thinking of. Again, this is all down the line stuff. you, instead of just creating a vector in the helper bot class, you create its own class that has the vector plus a flag. The flag will say in use or not, and if it's currently in use, it waits until it's not in use, and then it can proceed. My only worry there is that then you might get loss of commands. I don't know. It's been a very long day for me. After a not so great night of sleep. So, this is more or less set up. It's got the really basic stuff. Got our instantiator, which probably isn't going to do much. It's probably just going to take the flag and the copy of the vector. And it's got our nice little sample method, which will, I don't even know. To overwrite that, it might just be called from the, like when you instantiate the thing, it might just call the function, which then dumps all the information to a file anyway. I don't really see any need to complicate this at the moment, at least. Maybe we'll come to this on Wednesday. Find a need for it. But anyway, sorry there was so little programming today. I realize this was a lot of talking and a lot of research. And that's not the most interesting thing to watch, but at the same time, I learned a lot about JSON. Even if it might not look like it, I learned where I can find it, which, let me just demonstrate those real quick. The one I used is from tutorials point /JSON underscore Java underscore example.htm. That HTM. Anyway, they have a link here to JSON simple 111 jar. You can also get something similar from json.org/Java. That you will have to compile this one, which is the reason I didn't feel like dealing with it. I'm just not in the mood for it today. If the simple one doesn't work out, we'll definitely come to this one. This one's, I'm sure, much more robust and deserving of being used. These guys know what they're doing. So that is that. But yeah, not much programming today. But I think we're set up for next stream. We'll have this class here to work on, viewer save state. And then once we're saving the files right, or right, but in JSON, we'll then work on reading them in JSON. And then what comes after that? I guess then we start working on functions, interesting functions, like actually being able to start raffles and maybe random events. Like I've seen some streamers that will do like bank heists, and you basically wager an amount of money on it, and then depending on whatever the random event is that it picks, people do or don't come back, and they come back with a percentage of the money that got put in, or more. I don't know how it works entirely. We'll figure that out. Might even try and make it as dynamic as possible so people can make their own events, and they can say, okay, the pool is based off of 3 times the amount that people put in. Maybe I'll invent some minor little programming language that they can put in. But I don't know. I'm tired. I'm rambling. So let me just say thank you, everybody, for joining. Wednesday's stream will probably be much more interesting. I'll hopefully be a little more awake, and we'll actually have some programming to do. We'll work on some JSON file exporting, importing, and that will then build into enhancing the bot, which we can then start working on. And then I think we're getting really close to actually working on interfaces. We're not quite there yet. Let's say hi to the stream. Oh my. But anyway, again, thank you for joining. If you guys want to watch one of these streams that I've done, The recent ones are in the past broadcasts. The older ones are in our YouTube channel. I believe they are all there. I might have missed one or two, unfortunately, and lost it. I update Twitter with when I'm going online, and I usually stream Mondays and Wednesdays and Saturdays. Mondays and Wednesdays, 6 to 7 p.m. or a little later, like today, Eastern Standard Time. Saturday I will start at 3 typically and go until whenever I'm done. Oh, I'm going to miss this Saturday again. Missed last Saturday because of my niece's birthday. I'm going to miss this Saturday because we've got some friends stuff going on. Maybe I'll do Friday again. I'll know more on Wednesday. Anywho. Thank you everybody for coming by. Slithix, thank you for stopping by. Edelnecht, let me just see everybody that's said anything. Beastly Bro. And Elite Unit, who was in here earlier at least. Haven't seen him in a while, but thank you guys for stopping by. Thank you for asking questions. I'm more than happy to talk and discuss things. And I hope to see you all again soon.